Min sat quietly at his desk, his fingers moving slowly through the stack of piled-up bills. No sighs, yet his eyes were filled with confusion. The assets he had spent years accumulating suddenly felt heavy like a pile of dry firewood waiting for a single spark. He could feel it clearly. The more money he held, the more restless his heart became. And then, a silent question stirred within him. Where does my destiny truly lie? At that moment, someone's old words echoed. Wealth gathered in excess easily turns into disaster. But when the heart is bright, life naturally changes. That question opened a faint ray of light within Min, and he paused amid the rush of life. Was his fate ruled by destiny, or could spiritual practice transform it? If you want to watch the full story and support the channel in creating more meaningful videos, please hit the subscribe button now. Interactive question: if it were you, do you believe fate changes because a destiny is predetermined? Or B, spiritual practice transforms it, just a moment later? Everything hit Min like a cold gust of wind. His work stalled. Clients withdrew one after another, and the investment he had pinned his hopes on vanished like smoke. And then, both families began urging him about marriage, tightening the pressure around his heart. Min was afraid, not of being poor, but of giving his future wife an unstable home. But then, he remembered an old teaching: 3 parts destiny, 7 parts circumstances. Those who cultivate can redirect the course of life. That memory opened a path for Min, small, but filled with hope. So, he sought out the teacher he had long respected. After hearing Min's worries, the teacher simply smiled gently, advising him to build a Buddhist-centered family, to stabilize his life from within the heart. Where like a small lantern in the middle of a storm. Thus, Min began his own journey of spiritual practice. He visited the temple hall every afternoon, sitting among the community in the quiet space, letting his breath guide his mind homeward. But the first days were difficult. His mind was chaotic, like raging waves, and his habits of impatience and anxiety clung stubbornly, again and again. He found himself irritated by small things or fearful of an uncertain future. But the Buddhist community is a great refining furnace. There, Min was supported, guided to reflect on himself, taught about the way of a husband, the way of a wife, the importance of frugality and harmony. Each day, he watched his own heart soften, learning to yield, learning to love, and during those moments, he felt a small warm light growing quietly in his chest. Then, one serene afternoon, as the sound of Buddha's name echoed steadily, Min suddenly paused. He heard his own breath clearly. Even the fears he had carried were dissolving like light smoke. And then, something strange happened. His mind became clear, as if someone had lifted a thin veil from his eyes. He saw it plainly. Wealth was only a tool, but the mind was the root. He saw that when the heart was peaceful, fate would change, life would change. In that moment, Min finally understood his teacher's words. Buddha Dharma is both supremely strong and supremely gentle, strong enough to carve a path, gentle enough to embrace human shortcomings. That moment moved him deeply, as if he had touched his very destiny. From deep within, Min knew he had to continue walking, but now with a new heart. Soon after, small changes began appearing around Min. his work gradually stabilized, because he knew how to seize the right moment, how to listen, and no longer rushed like before. A peaceful mind brings clarity. He carefully chose his tasks, let go of what was useless, and kept what nurtured goodness. And slowly, his fortune began to shift, not suddenly, but steadily, like water quietly nourishing the land. As his wedding day approached, Min cherished his teacher's wisdom. The husband should love the wife as a younger sister. Never abandoning or neglecting, the wife should respect the husband. Treat her mother-in-law well. Manage the household with frugality. When both cultivate, the foundation of the family becomes solid as stone. Thus, Min began sharing the Dharma with his friends at the right time, with proper discipline, never exceeding 3 hours each session. He wanted to plant seeds of goodness, as a way to repay life, and then, Min looked back on his journey, his heart light like the early breeze. He understood that fortune did not lie in numbers, but in the karma one sowed, in the mind one kept. He realized the most precious thing was not money, but peace in the family, harmony between husband and wife, and the growing light of spiritual cultivation in every breath. Min developed deep faith in cause and effect, believing that when one corrects the heart, life naturally corrects itself. He wanted to tell anyone struggling through the waves of life, do not chase fortune, first nurture mindfulness first. When the heart is peaceful, blessings come on their own, and the path opens naturally. So what about you? Do you want to change your fate by chasing the outside, or by beginning with transformation from within? Now, as Min's story comes to a close, we see something simple yet profound. A human life does not turn because of the wealth one holds, but because of the intentions one nurtures each day. Fortune, if only chased, will slip away like water through the fingers. But when the heart is bright, when virtue is true, when kindness is cultivated, fate will quietly bloom. Min learned that a lasting family needs more than food and clothing. It needs love, patience, and faith in karma. The path of spiritual practice does not demand perfection, only small, daily steps, enough for the mind to settle, enough for blessings to arise. If this story resonates with you, keep a seed of peace for yourself. And if you want to hear more meaningful, profound stories, please subscribe to the channel so I have more motivation to create content for you.